I'm a free man. And that means I can curse, fart, flip people off, and get pirated cable again.
This is the Outside Analysis Radio Show live on Spreaker.com. After the show, this podcast will soon be available on Spreaker, the Spreaker website, and iTunes. To keep up with the show, as well as other things going on in the world of sports, go on to our website at OutsideAnalysis.com. If you want to join the conversation, sure, I'll take your call maybe a little bit later. You can give us a call at 773-530-1004. I only have two rules. One, be ready to talk immediately. And number two, don't cuss. Don't forget to like the Facebook page at facebook.com/outsideanalysis and follow us on Twitter at outsideanalysis. Well. How's everyone doing? I am happy to be here. I am happy to say happy anniversary to the Outside Analysis, the website. This is officially 2 years since the Outside Analysis debuted on the internet airwaves, or the internet, however you say it. I'm a little nervous, as you could tell. I am quite happy. I am quite pleased. It has been a pretty interesting road for the Outside Analysis. And I'm so happy to have said happy anniversary, 2 years in, 2 years strong, and I hope to keep the party going. I hope to expand the party and make new friends, eliminate any enemies if I have them out there, and do what I do best, and that's create wonderful content for everyone to read and to listen to. That out the way. Hot diggity dog, the Chicago Bears finally have a coach. I'm surprised in a sense, but I'm surprised that the coach was available, that being John Fox of the Denver Broncos. The amazing part about all of that is the fact that John Fox has led two teams to the Super Bowl. Most recently, the Denver Broncos, which was last season, when they pretty much got their hands beaten down, tied behind their backs, however you want to call it. They got smashed by the Seattle Seahawks. Peyton Manning didn't look like the Hall of Fame quarterback that he's supposed to be. He looked awful. To follow up that Super Bowl losing, soul-crushing performance, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos had another soul-crushing performance this past Sunday versus the Indianapolis Colts, and what I would consider somewhat a passing of the torch, where young gun, up-and-coming quarterback Andrew Luck, I'm not ready to anoint him the second coming. I'm not ready to anoint him a superstar quarterback or one of the elite just yet. I think that he has to prove himself a little bit more. He has to shed himself from some of the gunslinger mentality that he has displayed throughout his career. Not too many people realize this, and hopefully my friends in Chicago who are ready to get rid of Jay Cutler, get Jay Cutler out of town as fast as possible. You can turn over the football as many times as possible, yet still content. Jay Cutler, number one, numero uno, on the very top of the food chain when it comes to turnovers overall, interceptions, and fumbles. Who's number two? None other than Andrew Luck, who subsequently has his team one win away from going to the Super Bowl It will be his first Super Bowl if they can make it, if they can get past the New England Patriots tomorrow. It'll be his first Super Bowl. And maybe getting to the Super Bowl will help me change my mind as to whether or not he is one of the elite quarterbacks. He definitely has the elite quarterback talent. That's no doubt about that. No question about that. The talent is there. The mentality is there. He just has to rack up one more big win for me to start thinking, all right, it's his time. On the opposite end of that, just trying to get back to my original point. After the Denver Broncos were ousted in the playoffs, Coach John Fox immediately became available, doing what they would consider mutual parting of the ways between him and John Elway, the great quarterback himself, now front office honcho for the Denver Broncos, John Elway. The mutual parting of the ways allowed John Fox to be available to listen to any of the remaining teams that had coaching spots available. Now, most people know, because I'm sure you're not living up under a rock, Rex Ryan, fired from the New York Jets, agreed to coach the Buffalo Bills about a week ago. So Rex Ryan off the board, not that the Bills were interested, but he's off the board and eliminate the Buffalo Bills looking for a position or looking to fill their position. The next domino to fall was a surprise to me. The New York Jets, who were thinking about figuring out a way to help get their quarterback, Geno Smith, developed. They continued with the tried and true and tapped a defensive mind to run their show in Todd Boyles. Now, Boyles was the guy who, honestly, I wanted the Bears to hire. 52 years old. As far as everyone says, very innovative defensively as far as getting his guys ready for the task. On an Arizona Cardinals team, he was the defensive coordinator, and he never let them miss a beat while the bodies kept hitting the floor, one injury after the next, one injury after the next. The Arizona Cardinals defense never stopped playing hard. So with that up under your belt, as far as a coordinator and assistant, I felt like he was an ideal candidate, not only for the Bears job, but for the job he eventually was hired for with the Jets, but pretty much any job that was out there on the open market. Next domino to fall was in Oakland, surprisingly enough. The Oakland Raiders hired Jack Del Rio. To me, such a surprising move just because, as many people know, you follow football, you know that the Oakland Raiders are somewhat dysfunctional with how they run their show. And I was surprised, honestly, that they decided to move fast. And they got a pretty good coach in Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, had a little stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He kind of changed the course when, surprisingly enough, John Fox was out due to a heart attack. And while Fox was recovering, Jack Del Rio stepped in, and he did an admirable job. He led Denver's defense, which was fourth in the league this past season. He led them to a renaissance, so to speak. And he was deserving of the Oakland job. I'm just surprised that Oakland wasted little time to fill the position. Other dominoes continue to fall, with San Francisco tabbing, and I don't want to mess up his name, tabbing their defensive lineman after the interview process that included 12 candidates. I was shocked that after 12 candidates, they thought that Mike Tomsula was the best candidate available. And what what makes me surprised by it is the fact that he's basically been sitting up under their noses for years. You know, he's been there since Mike Singletary decided to enact a tell-all book, basically, showing his rear end in the locker room doing a halftime speech to the team. Now, that seemed like so long ago. Why? Because it was so long ago. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Tomsula ends up a pretty good coach. Once he was off the board, and you could tell that the Bears needed to hurry up and decide on what they needed to do. They had already just hired Ryan Pace, 37 years old, to be their general manager. Brand new, never did the job before, young guy trying to feel his way, listening to the press conference a little more than a week ago. He seemed like a confident man. He seemed like a man with a plan, a man with a mission. But it wasn't hard to think about the fact that his inexperience could lead him to make mistakes. So after interviewing several candidates and John Fox became available, quite honestly, it was a no-brainer to hire him. We're talking a guy with a pedigree of creating winners. He took a 1-5 Carolina Panthers team and in 2 years had them a Super Bowl contender. What did it take? Good drafting, important free agent acquisitions, and the instillment of tough coaching. The coaching that gets players inspired to want to be able to perform. That was one of the things that had happened that went wrong here in Chicago, where Coach Mark Trestman, who I have no doubt in my mind, pretty good offensive mind, pretty good coach. I'm not going to dismiss any of his abilities. I'm not qualified to dismiss any of his abilities. But quite frankly, he lost the team. And if anyone disagrees with me, if you wanted one more year for Trestman, or if you just want to talk about the hire that the Bears had with John Fox, give me a call at 773-530-1004. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Is John Fox the perfect selection for the Bears? Could the Bears have moved a little faster? Perhaps looked at other candidates? Was there a candidate that the Bears never looked at? I know somebody's out there saying, well, what about Mike Shanahan? And Mike Shanahan, to be honest with you, not that bad of a choice. I actually like Shanahan. Shanahan, he's a local product. He has Super Bowl rings in his war chest, to his credit. He walks into a locker room and that's instant credibility. But the only problem that I have with the mention of Mike Shanahan is the fact